You're listening to Success Stalkers Radio, episode 16 with Johnny Davis. Welcome to Success Stalkers Radio. I am your host, Iona Garrett. People all over the globe are rewriting the rules to success. They're making money and changing the world. Join me Monday through Friday as I interview today's top entrepreneurs, business leaders, and entertainers that will leave you inspired to take action and achieve success on purpose. Are you ready? Let's dive right in. Okay, Success Stalkers, let's get started. I am your host, Iona Garrett, and this is another episode of Success Stalkers Radio. I am simply thrilled today to introduce my guest, Johnny Davis. Johnny, are you ready to stalk some success today?
Absolutely.
All right, good deal, good deal. When native of Newark, New Jersey, Johnny Davis began his corporate career in medical insurance sales. He was introduced to network marketing at age 24 and by age 31 was able to retire from corporate America, never to return. His previous venture enabled him to build a sales team of over 12,000 associates between the U.S. and Canada. That sales force generated over 66,000 customers that equated to $104 million in sales. He created multiple six-figure earners in his organization and helped thousands of others earn great part-time income. He is a well-respected leader and a sought-after trainer in the industry. Currently, he and his beautiful wife, Rachel, are positioned in the health and wellness industry where they are helping to free people from physical and financial pain worldwide. In just 14 months, their team has grown to over 7,200 people and counting. They are rising stars in their new company, Isagenix. So, Johnny, I've given our listeners just a little overview. So take a minute. Tell us about you personally because we want to get to know you. Then briefly give us an overview of your success path.
Well, as you stated, my name is Johnny Davis, and I'm actually like the bio says, from Newark, New Jersey, graduate of Rutgers University. And one of the things that I really love about being involved in this particular industry is that we get a chance to help and touch so many people's lives and help them realize their dreams. And it's just an awesome feeling to be able to do that. I'm really the type of person that just loves to help people, love to have fun, but more importantly, help other people realize and achieve their goals and dreams because it's through the service to many that leads to greatness. And so, that's pretty much, giving you the general information about myself. I mean, I can talk about me forever and ever, but that's not what this show is about. So.
Right. Well, actually it is because we're going to dive way, deeper into your journey a little later in the interview. But before we do, we always like to start off at Success Stalkers Radio with a success quote to really get that motivational ball rolling. So if you can, take it away.
Well, my success quote or my mantra, as I like to refer to it as, is you can make excuses or you can get results, but you can't do both. And that really resonates with me. I remember the first time I heard that when I first was introduced to this industry 18 years ago. My mentor shared that with me, and he said it so smoothly, because I think he was asking me a question, and I was just giving him a bunch of excuses. I think there was an event that was taking place, and they basically described the fact that I needed to be there because all of the leaders would be there. It was a life-changing event, so on and so forth, and it really was, but he had to put it in a way for me to really understand it, and it kind of punched me in my stomach, if you will. He said, John, if you want to be successful, let me just share this with you. You can make excuses, or you can get results, but you can't do both. And I thought about that, and I said, you know what? Here I am giving this man a bunch of excuses. He was sharing with me how to accumulate wealth. He at the time was making my yearly salary monthly, and I'm telling him why I can't do this, and he's just not buying any of my excuses. And he said, basically, Either you're going to be here or you're not. If you're not going to be here, then don't waste my time. I'm moving on, and it's nothing personal, but you have to understand that if you want to be successful, you're going to have to make some sacrifices. And so that resonated with me. I took that with me from the time I was 24 years old and a newbie in this industry to today, in terms of just not making the excuses, because excuses don't pay you and no one cares about them.
You're absolutely right about that. So right. And here it's all about, here at Success Talkers Radio, it's all about the story, and your journey. And you're already, tapping into so many things I want to ask you. And I'm so glad you hit and touched on some of those. And I know you've had quite an amazing journey. But before we get more into that, first, I want to focus on a failure, a time in your life where you may have fallen flat on your face. And I want you to take us there with you and then share with us some lessons that you learned from that failure.
Well, a time when I fell flat on my face.
Yeah.
Which story do I tell you? Well, all right. Well, I can give you a really personal story that has really nothing to do with business, but it has everything to do with learning the lesson from it. And it's a story of preparation. As you know, we know each other. I mean, my beautiful wife, Rachel. She's the love of my life, and I will go through a brick wall for her. Rachel and we were just married just 4 years ago. We've known each other for over 10 years. Prior to that, I was married before, and I got married when I was 25 years old. And that marriage didn't last. The marriage failed. I was divorced by 28 years old. And that just put me in a situation where emotionally I was just totally distraught, totally drained. And I felt like a failure because here I was, a young man. I really wanted to make this relationship work and have this marriage work, and it failed. So I thought at the time, and I'm looking back on it, and I'm thinking to myself, at that particular time, what did I do? I was the reason why this happened, or maybe it was something I did, and so on and so forth. When in fact it wasn't. It wasn't my fault. But I walked around with the bitterness, and I walked around with the anger for so many years. And what I learned from it at that time, later on in life, that when I had the chance to really, really reflect on it and really discover who I am and discover myself. First of all, I should have listened to people that told me back then that person wasn't the one for me. I ignored instruction. And so I'm reminded of a quote that Dr. Mike Murdoch says. He says, you can't feel pain. You can't take responsibility for the pain that others feel when they ignore your instruction. And I ignored so many people's instruction. I ignored my mother's instruction. I ignored so many different signs that particular situation was not the best for me to be in, but I was trying to force a round ball into a square peg, if that makes any sense. And so later on in life, what I decided to do was to pay attention to instruction and seek wise counsel before I make any decisions on doing anything, and not making emotional, rash decisions, things of that nature. Just kind of looking at all the facts, laying it out, and it helps me to make better and smarter decisions from a personal standpoint, from a business standpoint, so on and so forth. And so 10 years later, when I meet my beautiful wife, Rachel, actually we met 2 years after my divorce, but we married 10 years later. That whole process made me a much better person so that I can be the best husband for her that I can be. And so that's one of the things that I've learned in terms of, failure. And I don't even use the term failure. It's only a failure if you don't learn anything from it. And so I don't look at it as a failure. I look at it as a lesson learned, a life lesson.
Good. That's good. And I kind of look at failure like you do too. But I believe that failure is always tied to directly to success because if you ask anyone who's successful like yourself, all of those everyone has failed at something. But in that failure, you always manage to turn it around, and become a success, from it. So that's a great story. Any other things that you would say? Any lessons learned that you've had from, say, in business? That you don't say consider a failure, but maybe a lesson that you've learned as a result to your business?
Well, I can definitely say in the most recent past, you have to pay attention to the people that you are around because everyone that's that's with you is not necessarily for you, and everyone doesn't necessarily have the same goals in mind. And when people tell you exactly who they are, believe because it's when you try to look past certain things, you should pay close attention to those because character flaws take a lot of time. It's not like it's a skill set that needs to be trained. Like you can teach a person how to do a call, or you can teach a person what to say. In this particular situation to improve their skill. But if a person is a liar, or if a person is a thief, or if a person is if they lack integrity,
Hmm.
or whatever the case might be, those are character flaws. And character flaws they're totally different. And so we have to you pay close attention to those things that, especially if they're so-called, these are your so-called business partners, they can definitely lead you down a path
Hmm.
of destruction. And just recently, this is something that I had to learn from something that happened to me in the previous business venture, and but I learned from it. I walked away unscathed. I walked away in a different position, better, stronger than ever before, and my eyes are open. My eyes are they're open now, and so I will never let that happen to me again.
We always learn so many lessons, I tell you, in business. And Johnny, let's go forward and transition to the other end of the spectrum, which is what we call the aha moment or that light bulb moment. Because just like you've had lessons that you've learned from, say, failures, you've also had some amazing ideas that have helped you become successful. So just tell us one, Johnny, and remember, this is a story. We want you to take us there with you when you had this particular moment, and then tell us what steps you took to turn that aha moment into success.
Well, actually, let me. The story begins with my introduction into the company that my wife and I are part of now. When I had the aha moment that this is something that we can definitely, this is definitely something that we should be doing. As you know, I've spent 12 years in our previous, and we've achieved a level of success that was pretty okay. I mean, it afforded us a lifestyle to be able to work from home for the past 11 years and just enjoy life on a totally different level. But as a result of a major health challenge that I suffered 14 months ago, which actually led to me having a massive cardiac arrest and dying and coming back to life and so on and so forth. And I'll spare you all the gory details, but that whole period was just a major transition in our lives because so many different things were taking place at the same time while I was going through this process and then at home convalescing and just trying to adjust to this new life that I had with this new health challenge and just trying to regain some sense of normalcy, regain my strength back, and trying to figure out exactly what I was going to do from a professional standpoint going forward. To be quite honest with you, so there was a proverbial crossroad that we had come to, and we had to make a decision on what we were going to do, because everything that we had known for the past 12 years was literally ripped right from under our feet, both from a professional and a physical standpoint. And so there was a lot of rebuilding that had to take place very quickly. And it was at the behest of one of Rachel's good friends who actually shared some information with her regarding an opportunity. And actually, after I had used these particular products and Rachel had used these products before, we both knew that it was a great system, it was a great product, and we both had some awesome results. But the aha moment came when this young lady came back again for the second time and said, "You know what? You should take a look at have you seen the compensation plan?" And then it hit me, just like a ton of bricks. Like we always used to talk about and train in our meetings and such. We always taught that a wise man investigates what a fool takes for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was time for me to actually take my own advice. And I actually had the aha moment and said, you know what, let me just look at this. And it all clicked. And once we actually sat down and looked at everything and investigated everything and found out that, exactly what it was, we knew that we had a home run. We were at home plate just waiting to hit a home run. And that's when we decided to make this move and put us in the position where we're in today. So it was just at the time where all these circumstances, sometimes the worst of the circumstances, you may be going through the most turmoil in your life. You may be going through the worst period in your life, but you may not understand exactly why it's all happening, but all of that is happening at one time to catapult you and push you in a totally different direction. Although you can't see it, that's what it could be doing, and that's what it did for us, and that was the aha moment for us.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I've been just watching your success, your growth, and, with you and your wife, and I'm really blown away by it every day, when I see you guys just, celebrating your business partners and, all of their successes, and I'm just so elated at that because I've been honored to know you for quite some time and to actually have been mentored by you even, to say that, and so I just think you're an awesome leader, you and your wife, and I know that you're going to go so far in your company, and I'm just
Thank
so proud of you guys.
I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. Well, Johnny, right here, what I want to do is shift for just a minute because I want to shine the spotlight on you if we can do that. So I want you to share with us one of your proudest entrepreneurial moments. What would you say that would be?
I would say, one of my proudest moments, I mean, there are several moments, but one of our proudest moments for me was when we were actually nominated for the Heart of Isagenix Award a few months ago, and it has nothing to do with any financial accolades or anything like that, but the award symbolizes someone who really has a genuine spirit in the heart, to help people with the just not only with the company, but just a genuine heart to help people. Someone that just represents someone who has a good spirit, a good heart, someone who's genuine, that just goes above and beyond the call of duty to help as many people as they possibly can. And I was so humbled to be nominated for such an award. And it's a huge, huge, huge honor. I've never in my life been honored for anything like that. I've never in my life been recognized or even nominated for such an award like that. And to come to a point now where I can actually get nominated by my peers in the company, individuals that some folks that I don't even work with directly, but we somehow touched their lives indirectly, whether it's through conversation or events that we've done or some other means. They felt it necessary to nominate us for the Heart of Isagenix Award, and I'm just ecstatic about that. I'm humbled. So that's for me.
That's awesome.
As an entrepreneur, to be recognized by your peers like that, and you're talking about on a global scale, not just here in the United States, but in all 12 countries. That's amazing. So.
Well, it's so deserving. I mean, I know that you have a servant's heart. I've always known that. And, I can remember even some years back being in Las Vegas when we were out at a convention and, I had a chance to be, in a room of, crowded people, and you were talking, and I have never forgot so many of the inspiring, encouraging things that you said, and you just got so filled up that you even started to cry and tear up because you want to see people win so bad. I remember that, and I've never forgotten that. And you probably never even knew that story, but I never forgot that about you. So I know the kind of heart that you have, and so it's so deserving, so deserving. So
Thank
congratulations
you
on
so
that.
much.
You're very, very welcome. And, we both know that, being an entrepreneur can sometimes be a roller coaster of emotions. And I'm sure you would agree with that. But some days you can be up today, and then within the next 24 hours, you can be down, frustrated, and ready to quit. So tell us, Johnny, if you can, how do you keep your focus and keep that end result in mind each day?
Well, you hear, and you've been around for you've been around for a long time, so you often hear, what is your why? Your why is the reason why you get up in the morning. That this is the reason why you do what you do. And for me, I've learned, number one, that if you want to stay off of that emotional roller coaster, the best way to do it is, number one, through personal development. You have got to read different books. You have to fortify your mind against all of the negativities that are out there, all the negative forces that come in so many different forms. It comes in the form of your friends and family and news and radio and music and internet things, and just so much stuff, and people don't realize that there's a serious battle going on, and it's not necessarily for your money. The battle is going on for your mind. It's spiritual warfare at the highest level. And when you understand exactly what that means, the person or the entity or the spirit or the energy that has control of your mind, has control of your thoughts, will be able to dictate what it is that you do or don't do on a daily basis. And so you must first learn how to fortify your mind and protect your mind. And you do that with personal development. Number two, you keep your why in front of you at all times. And your why should be something that is bigger than just money. Because if what you're doing is simply just for the money, once the money is not there, or once you start to gain the money, then you lose your motivation to keep going. Or if it's taking you too long to get to where you want to go, because your goal is just focused on, your why is just money, you'll find a different way to make money. You'll quit. You'll just give up just like that, because it's like, oh, this is not happening fast enough, and then somebody comes, with another deal, or there's another opportunity that arises, you totally lose your focus because it was all about money. Your why has to be bigger than that. The reason why you get up in the morning and do what you do, it has to be connected with your purpose, not for a particular dollar amount, but when you are connected to your purpose, then your purpose will transcend all of that. It'll transcend the negativity. It'll make you get up and do what you do, even when you don't feel like doing it. It'll give you the energy. It'll give you the motivation within. You don't need anyone to push you. You'll have that motivation within to get up and do what you're supposed to do, because this is what you're doing. You're in alignment with your existence, your being, and all the reason why you're here. You're in tune with that. You're in tune with the higher power. You're in tune with God, or however you reference him. And that is what pushes you. That is what drives you more so than anything else. So once you are clear as to why you're here, you're clear as to what your purpose is, you're clear as to what you're doing, then you have no problem saying no to nonsense. You have no problem saying no to things that come to distract you and take you off of the path that you were born to be on, that God put you on. And so once you make that connection, more so than anything else, then and only then will you be able to maintain your focus. And will it be hard sometimes? Sure, it will be. You're going to come across all different types of things. But again, that's why personal development and surrounding yourself with like-minded people that want the same things that you want in life, that are encouraging you, is so important. Associations are everything, because everyone's pulling at you.
Right.
You have all these different things trying to pull you off your track. And sometimes it comes very subtly, and sometimes it comes from people that seem like they're well-meaning, but you want to pray for a spirit of discernment and wisdom to be able to see through those things and keep track. Don't quit.
You could not be more right. I just agree with everything you said 1,000%. When you truly are aligning your purpose, you don't even need an alarm clock, because I don't even need a clock anymore. It's like my body just automatically gets up and, in the morning. And I've tried so many things. I've done so many things in my past, owned several businesses, but I finally feel like God has actually finally put me in a position now or, where I can truly, truly, serve people. And that is one of the reasons why, we created this platform. And when I say we, I mean me and God, created this platform to help people, because I want to be able to bring people like yourself here on this platform to help our listeners that are out there stalking success, that are hungry, for more in life. And so I just think that the best is yet to come,
Absolutely.
for this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And speaking of success stalker, I know that you are definitely a success stalker, Johnny. And, I know we always have something that we're working on as success stalkers, as entrepreneurs. So do you have any new projects that you're working on that you can tell us about? Or anything you're really excited about in your company?
Well, I mean, one of the newest projects that I'm working on right now is just a global expansion. I'm really, really excited about that. Have an opportunity to connect with people, all over the world. And that's really been the challenge, because before, in our previous venture, we didn't have that ability to do that, because it just wasn't that type of system. But here, we have the ability to connect with people all over the world, different nationalities, and it's just amazing. So that's one of the major projects that I'm working on right now, coordinating the efforts of other people from different parts of the world, from Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Australia, and just getting everyone together on the same page and identifying leaders there so that we can coordinate this effort of creating this global conglomerate of people that are looking to get healthy and wealthy from the inside out, and help to spread the gospel of good health, if you will, around the world, to everyone that needs it, that want to be a part of it. Because this is something that, to me, that, now looking back on all the challenges and everything that I've experienced throughout my life, I know now that this is something that I was definitely destined to do. Because, like you said, I get up in the morning, I'm fired up every day, I'm excited every day. I love life more so than ever before. And, for me, my definition of success is not necessarily the accolades. It's not about how much money you can accumulate in your bank account, how big your house is, or how fancy your car is. To me, you are successful when you discover your purpose in life. That's when you become successful, because most people are walking around and they have no idea why they're here. They're good at certain things. They're good at being a waitress, or they're good at being a teacher, or they're good at being an engineer, but that's not why they're here. They're earning a living in that particular field, but they're walking around miserable. I mean, just imagine this. Have you ever gotten in your car and you had directions to go to a particular location, and on your way to this location, you get a little lost?
Oh, yeah.
And you're driving around for 20, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, someplace that should have probably taken you, 30 minutes to get there. It took you an hour. It took you 2 hours to get there, and only to find out that you made a left when you should have made a right.
Right.
or got off on the wrong exit. Well, just imagine doing that for your entire life.
Wow, that's profound.
And that's how most people are. They're lost for their entire life. So they accumulate the houses, they accumulate the wealth, they'll accumulate the cars and so on and so forth, but they're still miserable. They're still not happy.
True. So
true. Because happiness is not in things. Happiness is when you are in alignment with who you are and why you're here. So to me, I've learned now at age 42, going through all of these health challenges and going through all these experiences in my life, I discovered that you're truly successful when you discover your purpose and why you're here.
That is just riveting. And I know that our success stalkers, our listeners are really getting some really good nuggets and takeaways from this interview today with you. I mean, you are just dropping it on us, and I just really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And, we've actually reached my favorite part of this interview, Johnny, and that's something we call the success round. And what I want to do is throw some questions at you, and then I want you to throw some knockout answers back at me. Is that fair enough?
Sure.
So what was it that held you back from becoming an entrepreneur before you started?
The only thing that held me back from becoming an entrepreneur before I started was the fact that I just didn't know I didn't know. I didn't know how to go about doing it. I always had the desire. I was not that kind of person that had the fear of starting my own business. I've always wanted to do that. I have a degree in marketing. I've always wanted to do something in business, but I just didn't know what to do. I didn't have an idea about how to go about creating wealth. I mean, we didn't learn that in school. We learned how to go get a job. They
Right.
taught us how to get a job. They taught us how to work for someone else. They didn't teach us entrepreneurship 101, but there was something that was in me that was always there. I mean, I promoted parties. I was a DJ. I mean, I've always done different things to try to generate income on the outside. I always wanted to do something on a bigger and massive scale, but didn't know how. And so it wasn't until I actually discovered a mentor. It says when a student is ready, the teacher will appear. And I went through my process of becoming that student, and voila, the teacher appeared. You ask and it comes. And when I was introduced to my mentor, and he shared with me some different things, some different concepts that I didn't learn in business, he just awakened the giant that was already within me. So I didn't really have any barriers, per se, to stop me from becoming an entrepreneur. I've always wanted to do it. I just didn't know how to do it.
Gotcha. Well, what is the best business advice you've ever received, and who gave it to you?
The best business advice that I ever received, this was the gentleman. Again, this was my original mentor. Well, actually, I'll take you back. Not that far back. I'll go back as far as just 14 months ago. My mentor that I have right now, because although I've had success and I've created success and I've helped others create success, you still need a mentor. No matter how good you are, no matter how great Michael Jordan was, he still had a coach. No matter how good Tiger Woods is, he still has a coach. So no matter how good you are, no matter how good you think you are, you still need a coach. And so it's wise to always maintain good counsel, access to counsel, access to a mentor that can stretch you, that can pull you, that can take you to the next level. And one of the best things that my mentor told me, he says to me, after we had a long discussion about what it was that I was going to do with this company and in my future, he says to me, because in our previous company, we were so adamant about becoming a six-figure earner. Once you became a six-figure earner, you were just like the big deal, so on and so forth. Well, he says to me, he says, Johnny, I'm going to tell you something. He says, for as long as you've been in this industry, earning a six-figure income is nothing. You should be thinking, you should put 7 figures in your mind today. 7 figures. 6 figures is nothing.
Good.
You've been in this industry far too long for a six-figure income. That is nothing. People make that weekly. That's nothing. You are bigger than that. And I immediately thought about the story of Les Brown when he said the easiest thing he ever made was $1 million, but the hardest thing he ever did was convince himself that he could do it. And when he put that seed in my head, I said to myself, you know what? You're absolutely positively right, because everyone that's been in my position that has the same amount of experience and a year's experience that I have in this industry are 7-figure annual earners, if not 8-figure annual earners. And that's exactly where you want to be. And so he put that seed in my head, and I said, you know what? That's it. You're absolutely positively right. Yeah. So
That was great advice.
yeah. So that to me was another aha moment for me. Done deal.
Okay. Good deal. Well, can you share 2 personal habits that you have, Johnny, that attributes to your success? Some personal habits maybe that you have every day that you do or something?
Well, the first thing I do every morning when I get up, I pray. And that's very important because I pray for mental clarity. I pray for safety. I pray for wisdom. I pray for my team. I pray for my family. I pray. I communicate with God. And some people don't do that because they don't believe. And that's fine. You do whatever you want to do. But I know where I come from, and I know what's the source of my strength. So I have to give reverence to that. Number one. Number two, I again engage in. I learned this early on in my career, in the personal development factor. In reading 10 pages of a good book every single day, because as I talked about this earlier in the call, your mind is the most powerful thing that you can have, even more so than the opportunity or whatever it is that you're doing, because you could be at the right place at the right time with the wrong consciousness, and if you're not in the right mind, if you don't have the right mindset, you will totally miss on everything. You'll totally miss out on the opportunity. You'll miss out on your blessing. You'll miss out on everything around you because you don't have the right mindset. And so every day you have to work on it, every single day, because it's just like taking a shower. You could stand in the shower today for 3 hours and you come out smelling like Irish Spring, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
But I guarantee you by tomorrow you will stink.
Yes.
And if you don't take a shower tomorrow, you will stink. Right?
That's right. Right.
So you have to do it every day, every single day. And so you got to replenish your mind. You got to constantly put good stuff in your mind and affirm every day to yourself what it is that you are doing. Not what you want to do, but everything that you are doing. You speak everything that you desire as if you already have it. You walk with a level of higher expectation, and you own it now in the present, because your subconscious mind does not know the difference between what's real and what's not real.
That's good. So Success Stalkers, I hope you're listening to this. So remember, mindset is everything. That's good stuff. Good stuff. And, I was going to ask a question about your mentor, if you had one and how important it was, but you already touched on that. So that's good. And one of my last questions is, do you have an internet tool or online business app that you currently use to help grow your business? Is there some tool you can suggest to our listeners?
It's funny, I was just looking at something the other day in terms of an online tool that I could use to help expand my business. And currently, I do not have an online tool as of right now. I was actually looking into starting a blog with WordPress.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking for that. I'm looking into that, I should say, to create a blog. But that's pretty much. I don't really have any online tools that I'm using other than social media, LinkedIn, and stuff like that.
Or what about even an offline tool? What about something that's maybe not online, something that you utilize? Do you use a day planner or anything like that?
Oh yeah, of course, absolutely. I mean, you can't. My day is so hectic. I mean, you definitely have to know exactly what it is that you're doing. I mean, one of the other keys to helping you become successful is planning your day the night before. So you definitely want to know what it is that you're doing on a daily basis, so that you're not wasting time.
Right.
And keeping a track of everything that you're supposed to do, and it helps you become more effective and efficient in conducting business and such. And so, absolutely, yeah, day timer, old school day. And I have the Stephen Covey the thick book. Yeah.
I have that one too. I'm old school too. I still like I like to actually write, to write what I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm old school too.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm just learning the new gadgets in the when you learn one gadget, they come out with another gadget.
Right. You gotta try, and it's so hard to keep up. It's so hard to keep up, but I've always been that's technically challenged person. But I'm starting to get more acquainted with more technical stuff, and it's pretty cool. Just I'm just taking my time with it. Yeah. But my last question, Johnny, is I want you to imagine that you woke up tomorrow morning in a brand new world, identical to Earth, but you knew no one. And you still have all the same expertise and knowledge that you currently have today. Your food is taken care of, your shelter's taken care of, but you only have a laptop and $500. What would you do in the next 7 days?
What would I do in the next 7 days? I would take that money. I would actually do exactly what I'm doing right now in terms of
Good.
helping people get started. First, I would position myself to get started with our company, Isagenix, and then I would start to build a team, identify other people that wanted to do the same thing that I wanted to do. With all the knowledge and experience that I have right now, this, in my opinion, bar none, is the most effective way to create wealth for yourself. And as I said this at our training yesterday, that this particular industry, network marketing, and with our company that we have right now, this is the Underground Railroad to economic freedom for people in this modern day. You want to create wealth on a mass scale, the most effective way to do it is through network marketing.
Yeah, I would definitely have to agree with that, definitely. Well, Johnny, hearing your journey has truly been motivating and inspiring, to so many of our listeners and certainly to me. And, let's end this with giving our success stalkers one parting piece of advice and then share the best way they can find you, and then we'll say goodbye.
Well, the best parting advice that I can give to everyone listening on the line is, despite what turmoil is going on in your life, don't quit. Whatever you do, don't quit. You see it through to the end. You're going to have challenges, and people are going to come to you. They're going to tell you this and that. They're going to try to knock you off track. They're going to try to discourage you, take you off your path, and plant negative seeds in your mind and get you to believe that you can't achieve what it is that you're looking to achieve. And I'm here to tell you that that's just not the truth. That's false. Surround yourself with great people. Surround yourself with people that celebrate you and not tolerate you. Surround yourself with people that have the same goals and dreams that you desire. Find a mentor, someone that can hold you accountable, that can stretch you, that can teach you things that you didn't know or you don't know, that can take you places where you've never been. You need to have that mentorship. You stay close to God always. You always seek His wise counsel because you're not that smart. No one's that good. You can't do it by yourself. You didn't get here by yourself. And you're not going to get to where you want to go by yourself. So always remember that and just don't quit. Be vigilant. Be strong. You stay focused and be dedicated, committed, and know and keep your why in front of you all the time. And don't quit. Never,
that's good
ever,
stuff.
ever quit. And you can find me, if anyone wants to call me directly, and I typically don't do this, but if anyone has any questions, they want to contact me directly, you can call me, and I'll give you my telephone number. It's
that's awesome.
704.
Okay, you can go ahead and give it. You can give it now.
704-713-4347. Again, 704-713-4347. And you can actually find me on Facebook under my name, Johnny Davis, JOHNNIE DAVIS.
Okay. And do you have a website?
I have a personal site. I do. You can go to www.mcn, Mary Charles Network, mcn.isagenix.com.
Okay, good stuff. Well, Johnny, our listeners have gotten some great takeaways and nuggets from you today. I know that they have, and I certainly have. And they can also find the links to everything that we're discussing and chatting about today as well on our website at successstalkers.com/Johnny Davis. And it will all be there on the show notes page as well. Okay, Mr. Davis? Well, we really appreciate you just for taking time and being so generous with your time, and also being so transparent with your journey today. And so for that, we say thank you. And for everyone out there listening, thank you for tuning in. And until our next episode, remember to keep stalking success. Well, that'll do it for another episode of Success Stalkers Radio. If you'd like to hear more from these inspiring entrepreneurs and entertainers, be sure to subscribe to the Success Stalkers Radio podcast on iTunes. And if you found value in this episode, give us a review, hopefully 5 stars. You may also visit us at successstalkers.com. Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you.